One thing I realized as a repair shop owner and a repair technician is you have to know when to quit. You could spend hours and hours and hours on a device and you finally hit a point where you have to say, it's not fixable, and move on. I would say about 90 to 95% of all electronics out there are no schematics for anything we work on. So anything we diagnose is pretty much just on the spot, on the fly, just knowing general diagnosing methods to be able to fix the device. I had a good friend send me in his PlayStation 4 that I told him I could try a couple of things on, and it was a no fix. So with that PS4, I actually bought one of those NOR chip readers and the USB serial UART adapters. That particular PS4 is coming up with a RAM error, and I tried to replace the RAM and reflow it, and still nothing. And I had a PS5 come in. This PS5 had an on-off issue. It happened during a power outage, and literally anything could be it. Check the power supply, check voltages all over the board, check for shorts, everything is good. I had replaced the solder underneath this chip and reflowed it, just for future reference, and the board came on and started working. So I was like, okay, so it's not an encoder chip, it's nothing else on the board, everything's working. So we tested it for about 2 hours, everything was working fine and dandy. We give it back to the customer, and it comes back the next day with the same issue. Then I spent about 2.5 hours more on the board trying to find anything, reflow different chips. Still nothing. This is a really interesting one. This was an Xbox One original that I had come in. It had liquid damage and corrosion on the board. There was a MOSFET that corroded really bad and ended up leaving a hole in the board and taking some layers. Let me show you under the scope. Okay, so here's the area. So we got lots of layers damaged here. Originally I actually had this unit working and had it fixed. But the problem is there's probably about 3 layers here. I spent probably about 6 hours on this board trying to clear this short, and the short is right here. Otherwise, the board is entirely working. We tested this board for like maybe 2 or 3 hours. Everything was working perfectly, so we sent it on its way back to the customer. And yeah, the next day it came back, of course. So I kind of learned my lesson with liquid damage. You gotta be really careful with these. I know a lot of you guys that either do this as a hobby or have your own shop know what it's like to have a device that's just not fixable. And a lot of the time my wife has to remind me. I look at all of this equipment that I have here, and I have to remind myself, the only reason I have this is because I've had jobs that were successful. It's not because my intellect or anything else. Not every device is fixable. I remember one time my dad told me that he had a device that he couldn't fix, whether it's a CB radio or a ham radio or amp. I don't remember, but he was telling me about how he couldn't fix it, and he went home and he actually dreamed about repairing the radio, and he went back the next day and actually fixed the problem. Sometimes you just need to step away from something and come back in a couple hours and then try it again. But then sometimes you just need to know when it's time to stop. Also, I do want to do a Q&A video, so if you guys want to put some questions for me down in the comments, that'd be super cool. I'll do my best to answer them in the next video. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Stay encouraged to keep fixing things. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have an awesome rest of your day.